professional. I think we all kind of know each other, but we don't have any. Oh my! Do you have a fancy slide? That's a total surprise.
Somebody get a picture.
Yeah. So just so you know, to be really nerdy, and a lot of you won't know what this is, but that's a picture taken from me being a neighborhood watch captain. If you don't know what that is, look it up. But so I am a Local 5 local guide, as you know, and have been with this program since City Expert started in Los Angeles. And I believe when I was there, I met both Tracy and Corey. Didn't you both meet there? At the City Experts, at a place we won't say.
Yes.
And was immediately hooked into the whole community aspect of it and being able to give back. And it's amazing that over the couple of years since that started, that I'm actually here doing this and being able to enjoy this incredible summit. So first, I think we should all say a massive thank you to the three people up here for everything they guys. But let's go ahead and do introductions, and I think do I have control, or no, I have no control. So Tracy.
Hi everyone, I'm Tracy. I'm a level 5 local guide. Like many of you, I'd like to say I'm a level 500 local guide, but there are currently only 5 levels in the local guide program. I've been contributing to Google Maps probably for about 5 years now. My favorite contribution is writing reviews, although in the last couple of weeks it's mostly been uploading photos as quickly as possible. I'm passionate about answering accessibility questions on Google Maps. And incorporating that information into my reviews. So that's been a super fun part of contributing in the past year or so. I'm Corey. I'm a level 5 local guide. I've been one for quite a long time. I just checked and my photos have 87 million views.
I think you forgot to drop the mic.
I started out writing reviews. I love to read them. I use local guide reviews. I travel quite a lot for work, obviously. And I love to read them. I love to hear what dish I should order, where I should go. I actually found an amazing sushi restaurant at a strip mall in Southern Virginia one time because of a local guide review. So well done. Yeah.
So, hi everybody. My name is Luis. I'm also a level 5 local guide since a long time ago. And I love writing reviews as well, especially of places outside Spain, because a lot of people in Spain don't speak English that much. So I've traveled to the United States, to Japan. So I've always liked to write reviews in Spanish for people traveling to those places. And nowadays I also love uploading photos and seeing my account view go up. Not as high as Corey, but I mean, it's not that bad. It's 70 million. So. Wow.
You can jump in.
Yeah. So modest. So modest. Yeah. So we were able to open a post on Connect, and I hope all of you saw it, or many of you saw it, and were able to ask some questions. And so we're going to start with those. And I think we also have maybe a question or two from social media as well that we'll include in there. But let's start off with the one that I think was most interesting, and I'm going to read this verbatim. Always the same newbie questions. How do you handle all of this with a smile? Let's start with Tracy on that one, since you're smiling.
Well, that's actually a great question. We understand that the local guides may have the same question, but the more people that we can communicate the correct answer to, we know folks such as yourself, you're moderating this panel today because you've done a great job. As of many of you in this room, you're here today because you're doing a great job of sharing the great message and program that is Local Guides. So the more people that we can communicate the correct answer to and the correct messaging to, you're able to go and tell your friends, your family, that same answer, and you're helping millions of people, billions of people, as you learned yesterday in Jem's presentation. So keeping that in mind helps us to stay positive and keep the smile on our face. Yes, it may get repetitive. Yes, there are only 5 levels in the Local Guides program. No, I can't give you a personal tour of the Google office. No, you cannot have my phone number. All of those questions, yes, you can totally stay in my apartment. You're welcome anytime. I think that helps me to personally keep a smile on my face. I don't know about Corey or Luis.
I think for me, when I go through Connect or I go through our communities or email or whatever, and you get these kind of repetitive questions, we're like, yeah, you can go to the help center or the website. For every one of those questions, we have an incredible story coming from local guides, or great feedback, or something really that just warms my heart or makes me really happy. So I think for me, it's the balance. Like, I'm happy to help answer questions, and I love when our local guides answer each other's questions. Ivan actually has done a terrific job of that. But for me, I'm overwhelmed by the amazing stuff that our local guides are talking about.
Well, for me, I love people. So I mean, even if they're repeatedly asking the same kind of questions, I try to put myself in their shoes and say, okay, I've been on the other side sometimes. I've been a user of some other community or wherever, and maybe I've asked the same kind of questions as other people. So I try to be positive about that, and also I love that you are all so engaged and so loving about local guys. So the only thing that I can do is smile and just keep answering questions.
And I also, I think I can also add that, you know, when you ask us the same question a couple of times, it tells us that we can do a better job in presenting that information to you. So a lot of people are asking us about how can we better answer accessibility questions. So we got those questions a couple of times, and we created information that you'll later receive today before going on today's Geo Walk. So if there's information that we're not presenting to you in a way that's easy to understand, maybe it's not in your language, maybe it's not in a format, let us know. We'll create an article on Connect. We'll maybe create a material that you can use. Those are things that we are happy to do, and we're here to make your lives as a local guide easier.
And honestly, we love all of you. Like we do this because we love you guys, and we're happy to answer questions. It's true.
There's a Bitmoji for that, Corey.
Let's talk.
So talking about the questions and then having the same questions come from different people, and in this room we have a wide variety of cultures and styles, actually ties very well into the next question, which is, what tips do you have when you approach people from different cultures or places, even when you've never met them before? And as you know, we are all meeting each other kind of for the first time in person here. So how would you guys approach that?
Well, I think that you need to be open-minded, and I mean, working on a program like Local Guides, where you touch people, lives of people of every single part of the world. I mean, it's great because you learn to first listen to them and listen to their stories and care about what makes them special. And I think that's the first step that you have to take.
And if we ask you additional questions, it's because we want to make sure that we understand completely what it is that you're trying to say, and so that we're trying to understand appropriately so that we can better answer that question. So I think that's where it comes in. So we're understanding you completely, and we try to strip emotions from that, as I'm sure you've all come into contact with one another in preparing on the 75 hangout, communicating all throughout. Sounds like a Steve and Kate movie, quite honestly. So yeah, so it's stripping the emotion from it and just trying to drill down to what is the message, or what is it that you would like to get out of this conversation, so that we can provide you with the information you're looking for.
Okay, cool. So part of this is interesting because as we have these different cultures, I had someone come up to me and say how strange our breakfast was, which it is a little strange if you think about it, and I'm not a big breakfast person, so I understand that. But one of the questions actually asked about food, and since we know you travel across the world all the time, the question is, what is the strangest dish to you that you've tried while you've been on your adventures across the world?
Well, in my case, that would be a shirako. It's okay. Shirako is a fish sperm, and it's a and it's a delicacy in Japan. So I tried that in a 3-Michelin star restaurant in Tokyo, and it was great. But I shouldn't be saying anything else.
Please don't.
I've traveled quite a bit, and I've had a lot of amazing food, but the weirdest thing I ever ate was actually in Washington, D.C., and it was cow brain ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where did you find that?
There you go. It was a whole pig event where you eat every element of pig. So it had cow blood ice cream and cow brain. It did not taste good.
I'm going to disappoint everyone by saying I'm not an adventurous eater. Not at all. If you look at my reviews, my photos, my Instagram, let's stick to burgers. I have not had any of that. I'm an extremely picky eater. I will be adventurous in my toppings of things, but I'm sorry. Sorry. I respect all of you for trying things. What did I have?
You had a lamb hot dog.
Okay, yes, thank you, Meg. Okay, Meg. To be fair, when I was in Iceland, I did try it because everyone's like, you have to try the classic hot dog in Iceland. So that was the most adventurous, but I did not finish it. No. It has like lamb and other things in it.
Other things.
That's my pathetic attempt at being adventurous. Thank you, Meg.
So Tracy, since you just spoke about adventures in food, the next question is about actually being a Local Guides community manager and what you enjoy most about the actual role. And it ties into traveling, your favorite thing to do, meeting community members, planning events, everything, including not food is entering, but what part is favorite for you?
Okay, it is definitely everything, but if I had to pick one thing, I think it's meeting other people who are as passionate about exploring and finding the hidden gem, and learning about the culture in other cities or locales. So finding the person who's excited to visit San Francisco, which is hugely metropolitan, but discovering the tiny bakery in Chinatown that has the best pork buns, which I think is Eastern Bakery. I know that's Golden Gate Bakery for you, Kimberly. So knowing the person who's interested in that, Karen's disagree. So loving that, we can all go to In-N-Out, which I highly recommend. Back to the previous question. So I definitely love the person who's into finding those things, or who's into the tiny obscure museum like the Cable Car Museum or the Railway Museum, which is 2 blocks away. Yeah. So someone who's passionate about discovering that culture and understanding the little local hotspots. So everything, though, if I had to pick it, everything.
Well, in my case, it would be everything as well, and of course, and the planning events is a great thing because it gives you the chance to meet people from other countries, other cultures, and also doing something for them that they will love, and doing something special and surprise them. Because of course, when you're planning an event, people will know when you have been planning for several months. So it's great to see their faces and their smiles and okay, this is so fun. So yeah, it's great to be about that.
Corey?
I love the travel. I love going all over the world and meeting local guides everywhere. I think for me, and I touched on it earlier, I really love the stories. I love hearing how you came into local guides, why you contribute, the impact you're having on your city. Jen mentioned Billy from Spain and how he saw something he wanted to change, and he did that, and he helped use Google Maps to do that. And to me, I love that. That part of this is why I wake up every day. So keep telling me your stories. I love it.
It's part of the travels that we see from our side is you guys go to different locations, and then we look at our own communities and how we're building our own communities ties into that. And with that is the question about actual remote communities and starting them. So many of us here have our own communities, but many people are still building communities or trying to develop communities. The question is, how would you suggest people start to build their own community in their area?
So when we started doing what we do now, the Local Guides team, and some of you are from back in the day before we had a program name at all, like even before City Experts. We were right there, kind of where you are. We were going out in the community, we were going to meetups, we were talking to people, and we were saying, did you know you can do this? That you can have this impact on the world around you. And that's how we started out, going to meetups, talking to people on social media, reaching out to people who were reviewing in our area in Google Maps, and saying, hey, do you want to go check out a new opening? So yeah, we've definitely been there. I think if you're really passionate about it, you have to figure out what attracts you to this. why are you doing this? Why do you believe in it? Why do you want to be a part of it? And then capitalize on that. You know, if you're really passionate about architecture, I know I was talking to some people about that, go check out the architecture museum, check out the meetups, check out people who are doing activities around what you love and are passionate about, and get them involved to help further what you want to achieve.
Yeah, maybe the first time you'll get like a group of 5 to 10 people, that is not a problem. I mean, as long as you keep doing things, you keep sharing what you do, more people will be attracted to that, and you will be like open to new experiences, not just architecture. So let's do a burger crawl or whatever. I mean, when you start doing things, it's unstoppable.
And when I first started, I was actually a member of the community, and it was really, we had a community manager who maybe started off with one small event that was like this tiny little brunch. And then I can't even tell you, like we immediately branched off and we all started hanging out. And some of my closest members now are from back in the day, like, 5.5 years ago, that we all hang out and do things on our own. And we now in the New York community, as a community manager, I step aside out of that role, and we host burger crawls in the New York City area. We do meetups all the time on our own. And from the online perspective, which is where a lot of you are probably coming from, and maybe where that question is coming from, I think first and foremost that comes from creating a community on a platform that is popular in your area. So don't feel like it has to be on a particular platform, and post, again, the content that is super relevant to you, things that you're passionate about, because that passion will shine through. And keeping up the content. So, post a couple of times a week, even if people aren't immediately responding to it, that they'll discover it, and making sure that it's, again, relevant to you and to your local area, and people will discover that. It may take a few weeks, a few months in some cases, but you'll find what works for you, and people will discover it, and you'll soon have more friends than you could even imagine, and find even more people that are just like you.
So when you say this, obviously this means that you become a leader in some point of view in your community or in your area, and people know you. And everyone in this room, I think, is a leader when it comes to being a local guide. So my assumption would be we all get asked lots of questions. What's the best place to go? Where should we go? Even from strangers who have been told by a friend of ours whose brother said, oh, ask that person, they know the city. But you guys are basically the ultimate local guides, right? So the question kind of ties to that is, do you constantly get asked for recommendations in your local areas by family, friends?
Yes.
Oh,
Short
yeah.
story, yes.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, I moved to London a year ago, and I didn't ask places in Madrid, even now. I mean, can you recommend a burger place in Madrid? It's like, I mean, I've been out for a year, man. So they keep asking, and they ask also about London. Okay, yesterday actually, a friend of mine via Twitter, he asked me, okay, do you recommend me any burger place in London? And of course I was.
All the time, but I have to tell you, in being the person who knows a lot about a couple of different cities in particular, it's so amazing when someone else is like, you know what, Tracy? We're gonna go on vacation this weekend, but I'm gonna take the reins. I'm gonna plan everything. And I'm like, okay, just please use Google Maps.
I don't know how many of you dropped into the breakout session yesterday about lists and starring. I am really excited about that feature and where we kind of evolved that based on feedback and your thoughts on testing it. So thank you for that. But I'm really excited to build tools that make that easier for all of us.
So with that being said, do each of you have a #1 recommendation you can share with this crew in front of you?
I used to live here in San Francisco, and everyone talks about In-N-Out. And I always tell everyone the same thing: go to Super Duper Burger. It's the best burger in San Francisco.
Yeah.
True. Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Habits up there too.
Yeah.
Where is the Super Duper burger?
It's right down on Market.
They're all over.
Yeah. We can show you.
My reviews are like 5 of them.
I have reviews of that.
Keyword, super duper near me. That's tough. Well, I kind of name dropped one earlier. The Cable Car Museum is really fun. A new favorite would be Fort Point, which is really awesome. You can go up right onto the Golden Gate Bridge.
I mean, in my case, I love trains. So one of my latest discoveries was the Kyoto Railway Museum, recently opened. I just visited 3 weeks ago, so I would recommend going there. I mean, you'll see like really nice trains for old days and also really new ones. So yeah.
Thank you.
I have one more quick because you're all here in town. Toronado is the best beer bar in the city. Anybody like?
Maybe for a late night after the party, right?
Yeah.
Perhaps. So we've only got actually a couple more questions, so I think we have some time for those. This one's a little bit more about activities, and that is, what is your favorite sport or outdoor activity?
Jumping.
You should jump right
Okay,
now.
my personal favorite activity is jumping. I will call it a sport because I have broken my foot jumping in the search of or the quest to have the ultimate jumping photo.
Intense.
I'll go with scuba diving. Advanced open water diver, and I love to dive.
My favorite sport is basketball. I played for quite a long time. And
I would never imagine
yeah,
that.
my favorite outdoor activity, I think, is
Can you dunk?
back in the day, yes, but I mean, I'm too far.
Who wants to see JR and Luis play basketball?
Okay, that's nice.
You can jump.
And I love taking my camera also space and take pictures of everything. As a matter of fact, my last vacation was 3 weeks in Japan, and I took 7,000 pictures.
Wow. How many views do they have on that?
All of them in due time.
Okay, so we actually have one more question from the community, and this actually speaks directly about the unofficial local pages that we've now rolled out. And that question is, how will you plan on supporting those local guide pages that have new owners, which were previously known as moderators?
Sure. So for some background for some of you, so we previously had 26 local guides communities that were owned by the Local Guides Google Plus page. So with the launch of Local Guides Connect, which is our single global online community, we transitioned those to be unofficial communities, which simply means that they are moderated and owned by local guides such as yourselves. So those communities will continue to appear on our My Map, which appears on our website, and are supported via social media promotion. So nothing changes in that respect. You won't even see a difference really in the interaction. The communities were already largely moderated by the moderators in and of itself. So nothing really will change. We'll continue to support you. We have changed a little bit of the way that we select newer communities for promotion. So you can see some of those, just because we're running short on time, I won't get into too many details. You can see those that information or those guidelines on our help center. But we'll continue to support those communities because we want to support those conversations that are happening on the platforms and in those communities where local guides such as yourselves want to have those conversations. But we hope and we've seen that the conversations are really for global needs are taking place on Connect, and you can have access to community moderators, Googler moderators on Local Guides Connect.
So I don't know how much time we have left, since we are running out of time. Do we have time for a little, 2 minutes?
We have one question from social, if that's okay.
Yes,
If,
do it.
Can I pass this down to JR to ask? To keep things on the moderator. Serious.
Very, very serious. On Facebook, Renato Garcia, I'm going to say this right, Donciona, asks, what inspires you to do better for the Google Maps users every day? And Corey's going to go first.
I'll go first because I think I answered it earlier. Hearing from you guys what you're doing with our product, what you're doing with the program, and how it's impacting your lives and the lives of people around you and your neighborhood and your town and your country, those keep me going every day.
I think the fact that the information and the insights that you're adding to Google Maps are helping people to make better decisions. We all have a finite and limited amount of money and time in our lives to spend on experiences, and the fact that you're adding this information that's helping people to make better decisions is something to not be taken lightly. So that keeps me going, even if I'm super tired or if it's a rough day just personally, that keeps me going.
Yeah, in my case, it's more or less the same because, of course, I'm adding places to maps. I'm using maps all the time, not just professionally, but personally. So when I'm in a different city on my own, I always take a look at maps and I see the contributions of other people, and I'm inspired by that because I say, okay, I need to step up my game and do the same when I buy.
And seeing that badge is like such a warm